Today I'd like to show you how to replace the glass on a Marvin door panel. So let's get started. Before we get started, you need to order the proper size glass. And a good way to get that information is this serial number here in the upper right-hand corner. Any Marvin product manufactured after late 2003 will have this serial number, and that gives us all the information we need to know about this product. If you don't have that number up there, you're going to have to measure the glass the old-fashioned way. You can find that information on Marvin's website. In the parts manual, there is a description in the rear of the manual. It shows you how to measure properly to get the proper size glass for this unit. So let me show you how to replace this glass. You can do this with the door installed, but you can see this door has already been painted, and more likely the glass you're going to replace has been painted. So if so, just take a utility knife and see these lines here. Just follow this and score the paint along these lines. Be sure to use all safety gear, obviously. This is very dangerous, and if you cut yourself, you can bleed to death and die, and I don't want that to happen to you. So please use common sense. Now, if you're replacing your glass because it's broken and say it's shattered, it's a good idea to take some tape and tape the entire surface of the broken glass. Your glass is going to be in thousands of pieces, so take a couple rolls of tape and just do this. Just do one roll, one pass out over another, and it's going to help keep your glass together while you're working on it because it's extremely dangerous. Since this glass is not broken, we're not going to do that. So I find what works best for me to get these stops off is use a sharpened, stiffened putty knife, and I just sharpened these. And now you're going to put it between the glass and the stop here. You know what that's going to do is you're going to be able to take that, and I'm just wiggling it to break this seam here. Now I can take this putty knife here on this seam, and I'm going to go this way. And be real mindful of how you take it up. So if you go like this, you're going to dent this side of the wood. Since these wood stops are replaceable, sometimes it's best to go this way. So if you do any damages on this piece, and also when you order replacement glass, Marvin typically will send you replacement glass stops. So it's best to go like this. And now you can take your flat bar, put it in here like this, and then you can remove this the rest of the way. Hopefully this gives you a better close-up of what this looks like. Now you need to be real careful with this edge of the tempered glass. If you hit the glass on this edge, it'll shatter into millions of pieces. So you do need to be mindful of that. And see, now it created a little gap here, and then with that sharp edge, and then now you can get that in there. And as you can see, we use the kerf and barb system. So this is a barb, and then there's a kerf in here. These are actually two pieces, and they could actually be separated and attached together. So if you just need to replace one piece or the other, you can do that. Now it's time to flip this over. So now it's time to take our rounded putty knife like this. I would warn you not to use a square one, because when you put your square one in here, the square end is going to dig into the wood, and it's going to be extremely difficult for you to get this glass out. So we're going to take this and we're going to place it between the glass and the clad, and we're going to make several passes. So again, make sure you got eye and hand protection, because this glass can shatter. And also never leave your knife in there like that, because it creates a pinch point, and this being tempered glass, your glass can shatter. So we're just going to make several passes until our putty knife goes all the way through. And you start to feel the glass move a little bit. Now that we've cut the silicone all the way around, you should be able just to press the glass out of here. Constant, steady pressure. Now there have been times where they use excess silicone, and sometimes if your putty knife will fit in here, you may have to go between the glass and the wood to cut any silicone, but be very careful of this edge so you don't break your glass. Something else I do to get the glass out, but you got to be extremely careful, is I'll put this to protect the glass and slowly let the silicone tear. And if you got any trouble spots here, go again with your putty knife. Constant, steady pressure. There you go, just like that. We're going to go ahead and remove the glass. And be sure to save all of these little set blocks here. Now, when you remove glass and you take it out and you set it down, do not set this edge down on concrete or anything hard, because this glass will shatter. So you're going to need to set this on a whole bunch of cardboard or something soft so this glass doesn't shatter. So we'll go ahead and set this glass to the side. Now it's time to clean off the excess silicone that was left over. I like using a sharpened flat bar like this, or you can use a chisel. If you use a chisel, it's going to be this side, and you're just going to scrape all this out. But I like using this hook in. It seems to work better for me. And we're going to go around the whole perimeter of this whole panel. Go ahead and just take a brush and clean all this out of here. To give you an example what it should look like when it's clean, that's good enough right there. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Marvin used to use this Dow 1199, which I still use and I still like. At the time of this video, 2019, Marvin uses this Dow 791. So we're going to go ahead and take this and replace this sealant all the way around here before we set our glass in. Okay, be sure to use plenty of sealant. We want it to squeeze out when we set the glass in it. Before I set this glass in the silicone, it's important to note that the serial number goes in the upper right-hand corner and that this is the top of the panel, because a lot of the glass has low E on it, and there's 4 surfaces of glass, the outside being number 1, inside being number 4. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So the low E is on the number 2 surface, and that has to be closest to the exterior. The only time that rule does not apply is if you order this with tinted glass and low E. If that were to happen, you would have to put the tint closest to the exterior, and then the low E would be on the interior. So we're going to go ahead and set this glass with the serial number in the upper right-hand corner at the top of the panel, and we're looking at the inside of the door panel, not the outside. So we'll go ahead and set that in there. It's very important to put these in the glass, so we'll start at the bottom first. Set one over here. Set one over here in this corner, and then I'm going to push down on the glass. Of course, if the door is in the opening, the gravity will take care of this for you. Okay, put one on each side. And this is going to help keep everything square. And it also prevents the glass from touching anything it shouldn't be touching. Now, it's important to push down on the glass so we have all this silicone squeeze out all the way down. And I'll show you how to clean it up. So I know I didn't tell you earlier in the video, take note of where these stops, which one you took off where, so everything lines up perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and just push this in here, just like that. Do the same for the bottom. Put this one in. Now we'll go ahead and flip this over. Now I want to show you how to clean up the silicone. I also want to note, see how I'm starved for silicone here? There should be more squeeze out here. I didn't use enough of it. This panel is trash. I just wanted to demonstrate for you. So make sure that there's plenty of squeeze out. There should be, it should look like this when you put your silicone in. And so you have one option. One, you can wait 3 or 4 days for this silicone to dry, and you can take a razor and you can go along the silicone like this and scrape it off after it's dry. Or what I like to do is I like to get some of this pure isopropyl alcohol and I put it in a spray bottle while the silicone's still wet. I spray it on here and it should not hurt anything. Lots of paper towels, and I'm going to take one of these set blocks I've saved and I'm going to go along and use it as a squeegee like this. And I'll go around the whole perimeter of this panel. Okay, now that looks really nice and clean. Now I would suggest that you wait at least 3 days before you actually clean the whole glass with regular glass cleaner to give that silicone its 72-hour cure time that it needs. See how clean that line looks with all that silicone cleaned off? So that's how you replace the glass on a Marvin door panel. Thank you for watching and have a great day.